but this is very much a guy who loves this sort of thing, loving a piece of kit. So this is what I'm excited about. It's the Hiqmar E-Fin SUP Booster. This is an assist, like it says, a booster, like it says, and it will pootle you along at around 3 miles an hour on normal mode or standard mode, and 6 miles an hour or just under on boost. Let's get it out of the box. It's got a really funky little case. Everything goes in here except the battery pack, because the battery pack is massive, which is fine. You want a massive one. That's the kill switch that attaches to me, my board and my boat. I've got the US box fin, which is this one, with the little washer and the screw that you screw down in. So I'm going to attach that. A little bag of gubbins, and then it is so simple. That goes in there. There's a little indentation of the bolt, so you know that the bolt goes, sorry, that indentation is for the nut, to those engineers amongst you. And then get it finger tight. It will sit in that indentation. Turn it over and just give it a few turns of the Allen key that's in the box. And all of the components are rated for seawater as well. You get a spare propeller. Now you'll look at that on the camera and think carbon fibre. It's carbon fibre effect. I'm not going to try and trick anyone. It feels very tough, but it is carbon fibre effect. Okay, we need the kill switch. We need this, the control unit. We do not need that anymore. So now you just treat it like a normal SUP fin. Put your little washer in. Move it up to the top, roughly where you want it. Slide those in. Line it up. And then secure. Now that is almost ready to roll. Now I'm testing this out on a kayak and a paddleboard, so I needed to install something a couple of hours prior to putting the battery pack on the paddleboard. A little net for the battery, and these have to clip on here because it's 3M and they do take 24 hours to properly cure. So let's just space them out, and obviously different boards are going to have different anchor points. So I'll give this at least 2 hours to cure. I'm happy with that. This is the battery pack for the Hiqmar E-Fin. Now I have tried it out before, it's fantastic, but I haven't tried it out in the sea with currents, so let's see how it does there. I put it on for 2 hours, full top speed, which is called sport mode, 2 hours up and down the canal and up and down the canal, and no loss of power. This battery pack is whopping. I'm going to put it right in the back, secure it down with these clips. It comes in this great little bag that I showed you earlier, so even if I capsize, which I'm not going to, it's going to stay in the boat. It is a waterproof sealed unit. The kill switch will be attached to me. That will pop off if I fall over, which I'm not going to, and it should stop the propeller instantly. Now, one of the things I love with the Aquaglide is it's got 1,000,001 straps inside it, and I'm going to utilize them now. So this stays nice and taut in this lovely little bag that Hiqmar have provided. Now, Hiqmar are sold by Bill Hyam Marine in the UK. You can find them on Instagram, YouTube, and that looks good. I think what I will do, because this side is open, I'm just going to close that with a carabiner. Now I'm sure this is just an extra measure that isn't needed, but why not? If you can, you should. So that is that battery pack now is completely sealed in here. I've still got a little flap to get to my power outlet, which is going to lead to the fin, which is going to lead to effortless paddling. Now all this might look like a bit of a faff, but trust me, it isn't. I'm going extra slow, extra careful, and I really, on this bit, I wanted to see if I capsize, is that battery going to fall out? It's definitely not. And it looks quite tidy. So it's time to get this amazing little thing on the water, give it a really good test out. My first trip out on it on the sea. I'm going to test it out in drive mode, I'm going to test it out in sport mode, I'm going to test it out into the wind, with the wind, all across this wonderful bay. It's tracking beautifully. The boat itself, the Chelan 140, tracks amazing anyway. But the fin, there's no deviation. There is a slight, very, very slight offshore wind, which is just pushing the nose out. And so I'm going to pick a point on the shore, pop it in sport mode. I know there are some great caves over here. Who needs a paddle? Slight correction on my heading, and E-Fins aren't very, they're quite new, so people on the shore mustn't be thinking right now, God, the current is taking him. My reference point on the shore is now in the distance. Just amazing. I love it. This unit, the whole unit, is sold by Bill Hyam Marine. They are bleeping awesome. I phoned them up. No, I sent them an email and said, I love the look at some of your kit. And this is 11 o'clock at night. He emailed me back and said, phone me in the morning. Phoned him in the morning. And then 3 days later, I've got 2 pumps, this bit of kit here. So although on the screen somewhere it might say paid promotion, this is very much, okay, it is a paid promotion because I've taken something of monetary value, but this is very much a guy who loves this sort of thing, loving a piece of kit. It's brilliant. I can absolutely recommend this to all of my viewers. It's so cool. Lovely. And do you know what, another thing that's really cool? The engine or the motor, the propeller, whatever you want to call it, the booster, it's not very loud. When I was just pootling along then, it's very much like, well, I wasn't even hearing it. It's only because I'm focusing in on it now. So let's say, oh, what was that? Cormorant. I want to go and fish over there. Drop a bit of line out. I know it's all sandy around here. Go nice and deep. Press drive. Point the kayak where I want it. And let's go and try over by Babacoom. And if on the way we get a fish, that's a bonus. And I like the look of that little gully over there. A little bit of wash from a big old cruiser. This is a lot of fun. Who is this for? Well, I've already spoke to a friend of mine who's got an elderly mother who will struggle to keep up with paddleboarding and kayaking as she progresses in her later years. It'll be great for her. And why it will be great for her is because it's not a speedboat. It just tracks you along at the speed of what I would consider a fast paddler. Sport mode, probably a bit faster than what I would consider a fast paddler. But if you want to catch up, if you want to stop and take some pictures and then catch up with your friends, perfect. I will use this. I'm 46. I will use this for fishing. Let's get a bit of fishing done. Now I want to show you this because this was a real worry of mine, and everyone I've mentioned this to, because it's electrical things do go wrong occasionally. So what happens when you're out with your E-Fin and it dies? Well, that's what happens. You just paddle normally. And I've paddled this boat an awful lot. And I can tell you, in all honesty, I can feel the drag of the E-Fin. Is it significant? Nope. Is it going to stop me getting to shore should I need to in an emergency? Absolutely not. Boost your paddle? Absolutely yes. Is it going to cause you a problem if you get a failure? No, not really, not significantly. And I think that was my biggest question mark while I was waiting for this to arrive. Worst case scenario, you flip the boat, take your fin out, put your normal fin in and flip it back over. If you've got everything attached in your boat, as you should have, that won't be an issue. What a beautiful day. I'm going to head over to the caves that are here. It's 0.8 mile. Let's whack it in sport the whole way. Now look at my paddle. You don't need to switch sides on the paddles. You dip it in that way to go that way, and you turn it that way to go the other way. It's like having a steering wheel. But let's just rock and roll. We're in the right direction. Let's go. So that is 1 mile in 17 minutes and 14 seconds. And a little bit of wind. These big old cliffs here. This motor is so cool. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. I haven't caught any fish, but I've done, well, how far have I done? Nearly 4 miles, mostly on top speed, sport mode as it's called. It's awesome. And if you want one, go to billhiremarine.co.uk. I'll put a link on the screen and in the description, because you guys can get 10% off using the code OPTIMIST10. This is the first discount code I think I've used. It's definitely the first one I've actually really wanted. So get on, save yourselves around 39, 40 pounds. I get a little bit of kickback too to help run the channel. It's all good. I genuinely love this. It's brilliant. Boom. So responsive. Now get ready to pause the screen, guys, because this is how you pair. It's really simple. Follow those very short instructions and your controller is paired to your battery pack. A little bit about the control unit while we're here. So I spent 5 or 6 minutes when I got it all out of the box trying to figure out where the battery goes in the control unit. It's all the buttons, self-explanatory: stop, reverse, drive, sport. Idiot proof, I'm sure you'll agree. But I could not figure out where the battery went, and luckily a new mate of mine called Steve, who actually put me onto Bilhire Marine and Hiqmar Motors. Thank you, Steve. He's one of my subscribers, top guy. Going to meet up with him 2025. We'll have a beer and a kayak with her, and we're going to test out, because he's got 2 or 3 of these fins, and we're going to find a paddleboard with 3 box fins and put all of the motors on one paddleboard and just see how that performs. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, my brain does this all the time, but I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving whatever I was going to say. I'm loving this motor. In fact, I'm going to cut to the studio because it was something I wanted to tell you. So while I quickly switch all the gear out from the kayak onto the paddleboard, what I wanted to tell you about the controller is it is a sealed unit, and the battery there lasts for 2 years roughly. And if you need a new one, you call up Bilhire Marine and you get a new one sent to you. I'm going to finish the video, guys, with some shots of me on the paddleboard. I found it a lot quicker on the paddleboard. Maybe there's less drag. Drive speed was really nice for just pootling along. Top speed, sport mode, felt a little bit wobbly for me, but I've not been on a paddleboard for nearly a year due to a broken shoulder, so I need to get my paddleboard legs in. This is a lot of fun, paddleboard or kayak. Definitely get one for the next season. Get in the water now. We have some beautiful days in the winter and the autumn and the spring. Get yourself the Hiqmar E-Fin from Bilhire Marine. And don't forget to use that code OPTIMIST10 for a whole 10% off. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.